Hello, thank you for that thumbs up. I appreciate you. You still hear the birds, right? Y'all still hear the birds? They're chirping, they're singing, they're talking. Listen there. Listen, listen, listen. Listen at that. Well, this is Power Walk Tuesday, y'all. So we're going to do a power walk today, kind of like I do in the mornings. Remember, walk with a purpose. So when you power walk, yes, you're walking with purpose, okay? The phone is going to be a little bit shakier than usual because we're power walking. We're power walking. I don't usually power walk with y'all, but we're power walking. Today, this is what I usually like to do, is my me thing. Because you know you can't do nothing on here. Hit those heels and follow through to the toes. Hit those heels, follow through to your toes. And walk, walk, walk. And talk, even with the power walk. We won't talk as much, but we're going to talk, okay? Because that's what we do over here in LionsPride. We walk and talk. 3 years running. Not nothing you got to look back to 10 years ago, 15 years ago. 10 years running. If we go back that far, it'll be 10 running. Okay. My thing keeps falling out of the plug. I think because I'm moving in the way I'm holding it. There it is again. That's all right, though. We getting this power walk in. It keeps falling out. I don't know. I need to figure out why it's falling out, though. I hope it's not, like, stretched or something. Let me look at it. We're going to keep moving while I get it. Because over here, we keep moving, period. Keep moving, period. I don't know. It doesn't look funny. I don't know. I'm going to have to stop because I don't know what's going on with this. But hey, y'all. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Is it Taco Tuesday for you? What is it for you? Okay. I think I see the problem. That's one reason we're power walking today, too. Because I've been running. All right? So we got to get in a quick power walk. Quick. Breathe. See? Nice breathing. All right? If you need to slow down or stop, you do so. But we got 3.5 minutes of more brisk walk. Power walk before we slow the intensity just a little bit. Then we'll jog a few steps. Y'all can't jog with this phone in my hand. Not the way I want to. I won't feel like it's effective. But we definitely walk and talk. That's what we do over here in LionsPride. Let's walk and talk original. Original in this neighborhood anyway. In this YouTube neighborhood. You'll be amazed at how much better you feel with that brisk power walk. Your intervals can be however you choose. You can implement any type of style that you would like. Hey, Betty. Welcome, Betty. How are you? So we're going to just power walk for 10 minutes straight. Then we'll slow it down at right at 10 minutes. Do like a moderately brisk walk. And then we'll slow it down. And we may jump back into the power walk. Just depends. That's good. Glad to hear that. Listen to your body. Pay attention to your body. Listen to your breathing. Yes, listen to your breathing. Especially if you're talking. Okay? Some people aren't paying enough attention to that. They're just so busy in their minds trying to compete. So we got less than 2 minutes for the power part, the way I'm doing it today. All right. So we're going to hit this power walk for 10 minutes. Then we will slow down and decrease the intensity. Look at the legs, move. Look at the legs, move. We still walk and talk, no matter what kind of walk it is, right? Walk, 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 walk. Less than 1 minute. Heel toe, heel toe. Heel toe, heel toe. But I walk differently for other types of walks that I do. But I heel toe for my power walks. Heel toe, heel toe. Cardiovascular aerobic activities, all right? They say your health is your wealth. I say your health and fitness are your wealth, right? Because that health can actually be on point, right? But how do you feel when you walk from your car to Walmart, to the front door? Do you take the stairs or the, right? And how do you feel? And listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. 10 minutes now, we slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Listen to the birds sing. Listen to the birds speak. Listen to those birds talk as we walk and talk. That's good, Betty. I think I said that, I'm not sure. Interval training. You can do interval training with cardio or with strength training. So we're going to do maybe 2 minutes of this. So 1 more minute. Just a normal, moderate pace. Still breathing. In, out. In, out. Pay attention to how you sound. And don't lie to yourself, okay? Don't lie about the way you sound, the way you feel, or your pace. We see you. We know your pace. Unless we put you on 2 time. Use those legs, use those hips, use that waist and walk. Remember, breathe in a way that's comfortable for you. For some people, it's better to breathe using their nasal passages and their mouth. Some people, they like to use their nasal only. Whichever way is more comfortable for you and your level of fitness, it's the best way. Generally speaking, there is a better way, but over here we like to practice self-control, self-moderation, self-modification, right? Whatever feels best to you is the way you need to breathe. Using your nose and your mouth, just using your nose, whichever way is more comfortable for you. So we're gonna do 1 more minute before we pick up the speed. I know you listening, girl. You trying to change it up. Y'all listen to these birds. They have been really, really active. They're just hopping around everywhere. He's like flying a little bit. He's doing like us today. He's power. The bird is power walking. Just hopping along the grass. Gets up and flies a little bit. Gets back down and hops a little bit more. They're happy. Gotta be happy the way they sound today. These birds gotta be happy. They're talking, they're chirping, they're singing. Listen to the birds sing. Listen to the birds sing. You hear them? You hear them, you hear the cicadas, right? You hear the cicadas. You hear the cicadas, you hear the birds. I guess we all gonna say that, right? We all gonna say that same thing. But you guys hear them. You hear them. And I'm telling you today, they sound so happy, so free. All right? So we're gonna pick up, heel, toe, heel, toe. We're gonna pick up, heel, toe, heel, toe. Not quite power walking, but we're picking up the pace. We're increasing the speed a little bit. The more you do it, the more you'll love to do it, the more your endurance will increase, your fitness will increase, your stamina will improve. You'll release stress. Those feel-good hormones will kick in, whether you're doing cardiovascular aerobic activities or strength and conditioning, right? Strength training exercises. You need to get in that resistance at least twice a week. At least. That's the bare minimum, okay? You can get that cardio in every day. Some people choose to rest a day or two, but there's nothing wrong with cardiovascular activity 7 days a week, right? 7 days a week. 7 days a week. If you're true to this and ain't new to this, you know this. 7 days a week is just fine. Just fine. But some of us do take a break. You know, maybe that day you just want to focus on other things. But this is a constant focus for me. Constant. I don't need to be challenged. I don't need to be told. I don't need to be encouraged. And when I do it for myself. I do it for myself. So we're going to start back with the power walk, y'all. Okay, it's getting a little bit dark. I got started later, so we power walked for the first 10 minutes. We brought the pace down for these last 6 minutes, and we're gonna power walk again, okay? Hey, Alice. Hey, LionsPride, Mazda Chat. Happy Tuesday. Hey, Alice. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. How are you doing? How are you doing? Welcome to LionsPride. I appreciate you for dropping in and saying hello. I'm later than usual, but we're here, okay? Retirement days, Alice says hello. If Betty, if you're still here, retirement days is Betty. Retirement days, comfort foods and more. Her name is Betty. So Betty, if you're still here, Alice says hello. That's good. Okay. Remember to breathe in, out. In, out. Whatever works best for you. For some, using their nostrils and their mouth works the best. Pulling in as much O2 as they can, and then exhaling, releasing that CO2 and other waste. For others, they prefer to use their nose only. Breathing in and out. In and out. Inhale, pulling in that nice, rich O2, that oxygen, okay? That oxygen, so that you can get it into your system and your heart can pump. The most important muscle in your body is your heart. It is a pump, right? It's gonna pump that blood, that lymph, and other fluids throughout your circulatory system. All right? It's gonna help to pump that lymph through your lymphatic system to help improve that immune system, okay? Right? And the veins and the vessels of your bodies, they have valves. They have valves. Just like your heart has valves. Those vessels have valves. And those valves help push the blood back to your heart so that it can send it to your lungs and it can become reoxygenated, okay? It gets reoxygenated, right? And the cycle starts over again. The cycle starts over again. Hey, Shawanda. Hey. Hey, Shawanda. How you doing? I only have a few minutes, but I wanted to stop by to show support. You always have good things to say. Oh, thank you, Alice. I appreciate that. Alice, I catch you. Don't think I don't be watching you. I do. I appreciate that. I be trying to, maneuver in a good way. Places people who I like, sometimes I kind of have to, watch them from the replay, right? Because I don't be wanting to, I don't be wanting to do anything, okay? I'm not going to do anything, but, people be people. So certain places I go, I catch the replay and I'll leave like a comment on the replay. Because I would never do anything I'm not supposed to do. But sometimes, people in the world are kind of weird. They're kind of strange. I always have this thing that if I see someone that I don't click with, I see and I don't see. I would never interrupt somebody else's live or, anything like that. So I do watch you. I do watch your replays. I thank you for your support. I appreciate that. Hold on, y'all. Okay, YouTube, that is not me. I do not own the rights to that music, okay? Don't get me. That's not me. That's the neighbor. You can't help it. It's just like nature. Sometimes you'll hear the airplanes, you'll hear the cars, the motorcycles. I definitely understand, right? Yeah, I prefer to just kind of, especially when someone comes into my life, and I don't ever want you to think that I don't see you and notice you. I do appreciate your support. I make sure to say that because I kind of try to, I would never say anything out of the way in anybody's chat, but you can't, predict what other people will say or do. So I don't like that. I don't like subliminals. I don't like mess. So I just kind of move around meticulously. Yeah, I move around meticulously, And that's kind of not good because you want to support the people that support you, but you can't always rely on the next person to think the way you think, right? So we're back with the brisk walk, y'all. We did 10 minutes of a power walk. We slowed down and did like we walked at a moderate pace. And now we're counting back into a brisk / power kind of walk. Yeah. How you doing? So we're back to a brisk. Yeah, so I just, people say they're one way. They're not. What I won't ever do is go somewhere, especially with people that support me. If I see that I might not need to kind of be around at that time. Because you have to protect your peace, You have to protect your peace. And you guys remember, this was Power Walk Tuesday, right? Don't do anything that you hear me say, or see me do over here without what? Contacting your primary healthcare provider. Because if you do anything that I say or do, you do so at your own risk. You do so at your own risk, okay? Your primary healthcare provider, y'all know the team of people I name every day. Your doctor, your nurse practitioner, your physician's assistant. If you've had injuries in the past, your physical therapist, your occupational therapist, your dietitian, your nutritionist, heck, your psychologist and your psychiatrist, okay? Your specialty doctors, right? Your fitness coach, your personal trainer at the gym, if you're a member of the gym, or if you have your own personal trainer, right? They're all your healthcare team. Any one or any combination of those people are your healthcare team, right? They form a circle around you. It's an atom or a cell, and you are the nucleus. You are the most important part of that cell, right? What does the nucleus do? It carries that DNA, right? The script. You are the most important part. So remember, don't do anything that you see me do or hear me say. I try to keep it light and mild, right? Light and mild. I don't go into great detail because people will take what you say and try to apply it to their situation, and they may not need to. Listen to your healthcare providers. We just dropped nuggets over here. We want you to research those nuggets and figure out what nuggets will work for you and your family and your friends. That's what I talked about yesterday, protecting your peace. Yes, Alice, definitely. That's why I always end my live with peace, positivity, and prosperity. And I don't just say those 3 words, I like to elaborate. If you don't have peace, you have chaos and havoc and chaos, right? Matter of fact, my live is going to be a little bit shorter today, so I can go ahead and get the closing words out the way. Y'all know I always wish you peace, positivity, and prosperity, right? And you know why? Because without peace, there's chaos, there's havoc, there's just disruption, right? Without positivity, of course, there's negativity. Wherever chaos and negativity roam together, hold hands, lock arm in arm, you will fail to prosper to your fullest potential. I'm not going to say you won't prosper. That's not my call, right? But just thinking about it personally, think about some other situations you've been in. When you're stressed, a little bit chaotic, a little negativity, not so much that you may be doing it, it may be on your mind, right? You don't do other things the way you would like to do quite well, So that's why I say, I'm not going to say you won't prosper, but you won't prosper to your fullest potential. I want you all to prosper to your fullest potential. Your fullest potential. And you can have the most peace in the world, and it still may be hard to prosper to your fullest potential. But you know what? At least you got peace. Okay? At least you got peace. Anything that costs you your peace, entirely too expensive. It is, Alice, it is. Anything that costs you your peace is too expensive. That's absolutely right. So I always wish, my closing, I always wish everybody, you can be in the chat or not. You can like me, dislike me, don't know me, don't care. Because I don't know people, But what I wish for everybody is for them to, at some point, because look, you're not going to always have it, but you can always strive for it. You can always strive for it. So don't let the unnecessary things prevent you from having the peace that you deserve. Don't let the unnecessary things prevent you. Unnecessary things, people who are unnecessary in your life, And when I say that, it's not to demean people or human beings. It's just that The most important people in your lives are your spouses, your children, your parents, your siblings, your extended family, and your close friends, those who are like family, right? So don't let the lady in Walmart get you real mad. And look, I know it's easier said than done because I've let plenty of them get me real mad. I've let plenty of them get me real mad. But we have to tell ourselves and tell each other these things and hope for improvement. We're never going to be just, right, just. Like my granddad says, just, right, just. We're never going to be just, right, just. But the goal is to strive for improvement, right? To strive for a better way. To strive to keep the most peace within yourself as you can. And to help others to keep peace within themselves. Believe it or not, we can help others keep peace within themselves. And other people can help you keep peace within you. Sometimes it just takes one seed to be planted. Sometimes it takes us forever to get out of certain bad habits, certain things that we do. Whether it's something that's bad, something that we consider sinful, something that we consider unethical, immoral. You know, shout out to the people who don't really have that problem. There are a lot of good people in the world. Alice laughing. There are a lot of good people in the world, right? And good people do bad things. Sometimes it takes you a minute to realize that you're good, that your purpose here is to be a good person. You know, let me tell you, your hormones can have you go from 0 to 10 in 0.2 seconds. Somebody else's hormones may be so level, it takes you 2 weeks to piss them off. Okay? You know, people are just different. People are people. People be peopling. All right? People be peopling. People are different. And it just depends on who you are, what you've gone through, and what you're going through, and where you plan to go. Okay? It depends on who you are, what you've been through, and where you plan to go. And sometimes, you know, it's a stigma in a lot of communities, a lot of societies, several races have stigmas when it comes to seeing. You notice when I name all those healthcare providers, I say your psychologists and your psychiatrists. Sometimes we really do need them, right? And believe it or not, some people really do need hormone regulation. If your hormones are out of whack, think about postpartum, women who go through postpartum. That is a result of their hormones being out of whack. And some people, it's worse. For some people, it's worse than others. For others, okay? It's really a problem. They were detached from their own child. Knowing that they love their child, your hormones will cause you to do a lot of things, right? So the key to that is hopefully having loving people around you, and sometimes self-recognition. A lot of times we can recognize ourselves, but there's the stigmas. The stigmas keep people, the stereotypes, the stigmas keep people from seeking the help that they deserve. Those hormones are something else, y'all. They're something serious. If you get mad over the slightest thing, yeah, you probably do have a temper, but most people, when pushed to a certain point, have a temper. But if the slightest thing gets you out of a bag from 0 to 1,000, and it does that routinely, a lot of times that's just boiling down to hormonal issues. And when I say hormonal, guys, I'm not just talking about with women. You know, people take those steroids and they can go into roid rage, right? Your hormones are not just the estrogen and progesterone, okay? Your body creates lots and lots of hormones. Those feel-good hormones that we talk about, those endorphins, those are hormones, okay? Right? So the goal is to try to get those good hormones to as high as level as you possibly can. Cortisol, though a lot of people, you know, badmouth cortisol, because when those cortisol levels are high, that is stressful. That means you are going through stress. So your body does need a little bit. It's when the cortisol gets out of whack is when there's a problem. Okay? Get too high. Alice says, yep, so true. Thank you, Alice. I was late, so I don't know where my little crowd is, but you know, I keep a small chat. I love that. I usually have Mad Dog comes through here, Joyelle, Stefan, Shawanda. I think Shawanda did come through. uh, Uno comes through, Azure comes through from where's Azure from? He's from Malaysia, I think. So I have a few people that come through from Malaysia. Shout out to the people, the international people that come through here. And of course, shout out to those within this country, because y'all, this country is going through some stuff, okay? This country, a lot of people have never been so excited to think about another election, okay? A lot of people have never been so excited to think about another election. You got people who are finally realizing that politics does matter, okay? Politics does matter. Politics does affect you, can affect you, will affect you. If you have a family member or a friend, or if you yourself have been affected by the chainsaw taken to federal government jobs, then you now know that it can. Anyone receiving Social Security right now is sitting on pins and needles, not knowing what's going to happen because of some guy that's not even from here. You know, another weak man allowing this guy to run the country in order for him to just sit there and say he's the president. You know, it's crazy. So what's going to happen is we're going to have to keep praying. We have to pray our way through it. Nobody likes to rush time, right? Nobody wants to say, come on, 2028, come on. You know, we pray to God to be blessed to have many, many years. But this is a time in this country where people are just like, can't wait for the next election. And the people who can't wait the most are the people who got us in the situation that we're in right now. They are the people who went and voted and got us in the situation that we're in right now. And again, I'm going to tell y'all, I don't think he won. But see, they talk bad about Democrats, but what Democrats won't do is they won't go storm a Capitol. They won't go attack police officers and say, we won, you lost. They won't do that. You know, they won't do that. They won't look at crime and then turn their heads to it because it's above, they're above that, right? So many of us don't believe that that person won. Polls can be crazy, but coming up to the election, everything showed that they would lose. But what, just a few months, couple of weeks to a few months? Come on. Y'all know they can do anything that they want to do, right? That election was purchased. But it is what it is now. And for those who did vote that way, next time, even if you're the most racist person in the world, what this man right here is doing right now could potentially affect your purse, your wallet, your retirement. Alice says sometimes it takes people being directly affected in order for Alice, exactly. And Alice, you know what? The other day I said some of these ones that are whining and crying, farmers about their governmental contracts, things like that, who thought, you know, sometimes people think that things have to be perfect. Things won't ever be perfect when you're talking about government, right? Things won't ever be perfect when you're talking about government. So a lot of these same people who literally and figuratively could not afford to vote that way, voted that way. They can't literally, their pockets won't let them, their pockets say otherwise, and mentally, figuratively, that wasn't the way to go for them, but they went that way, and now they're the ones crying the most. But what amazes me, Alice, is that I bet you there is still a select group of them who would vote for him again. Who would vote for him again if it meant a person of color not holding the seat again. Now you see what just happened as far as that the military text, right? The incompetence of that. Now they say that they don't need DEI. You should get, you know, your jobs or whatever, your contracts and all that on your merit. So you remove this qualified man who's had, 30, 40 years of experience, CQ Brown Jr. You put this incompetent part-time soldier in there who just leaked your war plans. No, that ain't the type of mistake where you say, well, everybody's human. He's new on the job. He made a mistake. So let me think the way I'm thinking, maybe you needed a little DEI in your administration. The very administration that's trying to get rid of DEI, maybe you need a little DEI in your administration's life. Okay? And instead of accepting responsibility, taking accountability, he blames the reporter that told on him. You can say whatever you want to say about that man. He's an editor-in-chief. So he's no dummy, okay? You can say whatever you want to say about him. It was your incompetence that leaked that text. What governmental officials, you could not pay. Let me tell you something. If George W. Bush had done it, I'm not going to even say Obama, Biden, because they really hate Biden due to the connection to Obama. I'm not going to say those two. I'm going to take it back. I'm not going to say Clinton. I'm going to take it to Bush. He could not have done that. His administration could not have done that. Somebody would be out the door. Somebody would be out the door. And it just proves, see, God has a way of showing us things. And God has a way of showing people things that we think nobody can get to them. But what's sad about it is when the things are revealed or shown, you have evil is so powerful within some people, they can't even take accountability or responsibility. He should be fired. He should have never gotten the job in the first place. And within 6 months, it's been proven why he shouldn't have. Within 3 months, he just got it in January, or maybe just got it in February, honestly. Just got confirmed maybe in February. Within 3 months, he has shown why he was not qualified for that job. And he's the main one as a part of the administration running around talking about DEI. Now, it looks like y'all need some DEI, okay? Look like you need a little DEI in your administration. Because all I see now is a bunch of white, incompetent males with a white female placed strategically within the administration. The white female giving the pressers, the white female being top of the Department of Justice, because she's from Florida. And I love Florida. And I don't care what people say, Florida is a melting pot. But Florida has a lot of racist people. And she is one of them. She is one of them. And they keep tossing that thing around about releasing not George Floyd, but Derek Chauvin. They keep playing with that ball. You already know they got him in protective custody, taking care of him. But they keep playing with that paddling ball, right? If he doesn't do it now, or within the term, before he gets out of there, he's going to pardon that evil killer. He's going to pardon him. They are used to their supporters continuing to, support them. Yes, Alice. They are used to their supporters continuing to support them. You hit the nail on the head no matter what, especially when most of them are cult followers. Exactly. And that's why I say it looks like they finally started to do something that has changed some of those minds. May not have changed who they are overall, but maybe now they realize that you shouldn't base leadership on your personal feelings regarding race, creed, and color. They're still going to be just as evil as ever. And like I said, there's still a select group of them who would still, to this day, he could take everything. He can put them on the streets. He could put them in the streets, homeless, and they would still vote for him today. It's something how the mind can be so manipulated. But it's not even so much that he's manipulating their minds. Some of them have this feeling of hierarchy. Like, no matter how poor I am, no matter how unknown, I may not be the most known person, the most popular person. I may not have millions, but I got this color on my skin. So I'm going to ride with him till the end. Until they start to say, oh, you just missed your Social Security check. Those bills can wait. And then that power gets cut off. Your parents, your aunties, your friends, your elderly neighbors, people, children everybody gets Social Security. Now, who is it for some foreigner to come over here and say it's a Ponzi scheme? If he doesn't like the way things are over here, why is he here? Isn't that what they tell everybody else? Sitting in on meetings that the way they're letting this man sit in on meetings, all of us should be able to sit in on those meetings. Taking away clearances from people who gave him clearance, who extended clearance to him. He got 11,000 children, grown children, and some of them probably got who have grown grandchildren by the time, he's done with his presidency. And they want the Secret Service is already stretched, but you got to protect all of them. And he's mad because Joe Biden's son had some Secret Service. But Joe Biden extended everything to him that every other president extends to every other president, right? He's evil personified. He's evil personified. And anybody that you effed around and found out the first time, now that term doesn't even apply. I don't even know what to say. You can F around and find out, right? But it boils back to that old saying, when someone has shown you who they are, believe them. If anything, why would people not think he would be worse? First go around, he didn't really know as much. And he had some good people around him. He had some around him that was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but he still had good ones around him as well, who they may not agree with you politically, but they knew right from wrong. And they knew that they were one branch of government and that the other two were supposed to do their jobs. They didn't give him that feeling that he is a king. This go around, why wouldn't these voters know that he's not going to go for the best, the most qualified? He's going to go for a bunch of stooges. And but the sad part, the thing that they threw in there, the wrench that they threw in that we didn't know about, was how much he was going to let Musk control him. Because we sit here now with the South African, they didn't want an African-American / Caucasian president in the President Obama, but they're good with the South African president. We're sitting here right now with the South African president, basically. And Donald Trump is basically just, they call him co-chief. He's not even the co-chief. He's not the co-commander-in-chief. He's the vice president. And Vance is just somebody that's just there. He's just there. And they're starting to leak some stuff because Vance is starting to realize that nobody thinks you're important. Nobody thinks you're important. Everybody thought Pence was a puppet. Nah, when it came down to the rule of law and staying within your branch of government, Pence did the right thing. And that's all I can say. You can dislike a person so much, but if they do the right thing when it matters, then you can only respect them. Plus, he displays the symptoms of them. Oh my gosh, he's sitting there looking at people. He's so, Alice, I don't know if it's that or if it's just because he's so evil. Like this time, he's so evil. It's almost like he just sits there because he just out of some degree of formality, because nothing he does is really formal or based on formality. But it's like he just sits there and just stares. But everything that comes out of his mouth, he knows exactly that it's meant for evil. Hey, Mad Dog. Hey, LionsPride sis. Hey, Mad Dog. I just told Alice, y'all, I don't know where everybody at. Maybe because I went late. Y'all know I be walking at night sometimes, or I'll start walking and then it'll get dark. But yeah, so we came on and did a power walk today, and it's still almost been an hour though. Been on here like 45 minutes. Alice came in and kept me company, okay? Alice says, hey, Mad Dog. Alice says he's evil and demented. Because he sits there. And but everything that comes out of his mouth, he never fails to deliver evil comments, evil thoughts. And then when it comes to accountability, he knows how to deflect. He knows how to not take accountability. And he knows how to just sit there and think, I'm above y'all. I'm above y'all. Mad Dog says, hi, Alice. I'm above y'all. So, I don't know. And a lot of people, I was wondering if I was the only one thinking like that until I saw it in a chat today, in Sin City's chat. Somebody said we're on the verge of becoming a third world country. And that's what I have been thinking. That's what I've been thinking. And we wouldn't be on the verge of becoming that had we voted the other way. Well, we as in me and my crew, we voted the right way. But we wouldn't be sitting on the verge of becoming a third world country. And that's what everybody's feeling. Because you take these people's Social Security right now, elderly people, disabled people, children. What does Elon Musk think is going to happen? See, his family is all a part of that apartheid-ish. And what he wants to do, because they can't stand him over there in South Africa. Kind of like everybody got rich off the back of our ancestors during slavery. Yeah, he's from a family that got rich off of the back of Africans. So yeah, he's all for the removal of DEI initiatives and things like that. He's all for that removal of that. Right, don't blame us. He's avoided accountability all his life. Come on, Alice. When you got somebody whose niece has a whole podcast about you, talking about the things, and this lady's like, what, 50-something years old? And she's talking about her experiences with him from childhood till now. His nephew had a disabled child. And he talks about the way he mistreated them. But then I just heard a guy, and you have people sitting here working regular jobs, acting as if, oh, it hadn't affected me yet. And the sad part about it is that it's still some of us. There's a lady on this app that I don't respect at all anymore. I don't know if she's so, you know how sometimes when a person knows that they're wrong, but it's like they throw their hands up and say, well, hell, I've come too far now. I'm not going to admit I'm wrong. I'm just going to keep rolling with the punches. I can't admit I'm wrong. Then I'll look bad. Baby, you might as well just admit you was wrong because you look horrible now. You look horrible now. So admitting you were wrong can only make you look a little bit better. Can only make you look a little bit better. See, you got even some African Americans that can't admit. And then I have seen a few of them on some of these shows saying, well, I didn't think he was going to, what did you think? Did you think? This man explicitly told us he was going to be on a revenge tour for 4 years. And then he said, what? You probably won't even have to vote again. So he's going to challenge. You see how he's doing these orders that half of the things that he's putting in these executive orders have to go through Congress. So it's almost like his executive orders are null and void. He's wasting time by having people sue him. Now he's even gotten to the law firms. He got one law firm to bend down to give him so much free work, pro bono work. Why does the government need a law firm to work pro bono? He's going to have that law firm defending his buddies. Because I said, you know, he's not planning to leave office. He can't be. Because you got prosecuted the last time you left office. Plenty of people got prosecuted. So how can you guys do all this stuff for him and not realize that once you're out of office and the new administration is in there, and after all this, if they don't put, whether you love Democrats or hate them, if they don't put a Democratic president in next time, and if they don't flip this Congress in 26 and 28, then it will be a sad time, because that would mean one of two things. That people were beat down so bad that they just became complacent. They just became complacent. Or it would mean that they would have stolen another election. Because he does not plan to step down. And you got idiots running around with dump 2028. Like, are you crazy? Trying to get him a third term as if, well, see, he wasn't allowed to run. Whether he didn't win the second term back to back, but he's done 2 terms. No president is supposed to do 2 terms. Unless for some reason you have to take over. And if you take over and it's less than like 2 years or something like that, you can get those 2 years and you can still run twice. That's it. That's it. That's the only way you will end up with like running, maybe being president like 8 years. Over 8 years. Like 8.5, 9, 10 years max. He is crazy. Crazy. And they don't like for you to talk about him, you know, unless you're like this big news person, you know, or maybe his nieces and stuff like that. They don't like for you to talk about them on social media. They'll try to keep your chat dry as all get out until you just really just like make that your whole theme. If you make that your whole theme, then the people will come. But a lot of people don't want to talk about that jack all day, every day. They don't want to talk about him all day, every day. Some people have kind of just put their head down and they're just grinding. Because like I said, you're supposed to appreciate each and every day the same. Nobody wants to rush time, but you got people who they can't wait until election time. They can't wait. And that's sad to say. They just can't wait until election time. And we're really just trying to see what's going to happen because, Lord willing, God willing, we're here. Usually they start like looking for their candidate the year before, right? So are they going to be afraid? See, it's going to take somebody within his administration to turn. Because I'm like, all you white males who think that you're above the law and think that you're so this and so that compared to everybody else, that you're supposed to be inherently better, that you're so privileged. So do none of you strive to hold the top office? Because the way this man is talking is like it's going to be him and him only, or his pick. So this is like the Jim Jones. This is like, is that the mentality you want to have? It's going to take somebody within to flip. And there's already discord within. Yep, my political channel is Shadow Man. Wow. Are you serious? They do it. But you know what? That's okay, Alice. You just keep speaking. You just keep on. Whenever you want to get into talk politics, you just keep talking and keep speaking about it because you already know that they've done that. And eventually somebody's going to come. See, the bigger personalities who are trying to put the truth out, they have even started to say, if something happens to my channel, you can catch me over here and over here and over there and over there. So they even know. So it's not even just the small channels, but it affects the small channels worse because you're trying to grow. You're trying to grow. Come on, Alice. I already said it. And you know what? And Vance knows it. Vance has to know he said it, and he feels it. That's why he showed his behind that day when they were talking to President Zelensky. That's why he was trying to show his power. Like, you see what? I know we're all human, but the way, like they say, what women are from Venice, men are from Mars, women are from Venice. Well, different races. One is no better than the other. But when it comes to life, due to the things that our ancestors have gone through, the things that our parents have gone through, grandparents, the things that we've gone through, we have different ways of thinking. So white males seem, not all, because I know some great, brilliant white males, but you have some who are viciously afraid of what has been being said for years now. By the year, 2035, 2050, something like that, this will be a brown nation. Some white guys don't care. They don't care, one way or the other. This will be a brown, but you have those older men instilling into those men who are maybe like 40s and 50s, and those 40 and 50-year-olds are instilling it into these college kids that, it's okay to let them have, but we are supposed to be the ones who decide that. And they're feeling like if this becomes a brown nation, they won't be the ones making that particular type of decisions anymore. They have that falsely inherent sense of superiority. That falsely acquired, inherited sense of superiority. And they feel like, hold up, this is now 2025. This nation is, you're just shipping people to another country who you don't even know that they're thugs or violent criminals like they're calling them. Some of those people are not. But because of the color of their skin and you don't want them over here, and you're afraid that this nation is becoming brown, black and brown, they're in panic mode right now. And this is why when some of us kept saying, read Project 2025, you have African Americans who would not read it. I mean, gosh, it's a 1,000-page book. Read sometimes. It can be your best friend. It can be your best friend. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Alice. And what about the officers? You know, you're talking about giving police officers immunity for doing whatever. But those particular police officers, you didn't give a damn about the physical part, the mental part, and some that are no longer here. Because of that, you didn't give a damn about them and their family because they were trying to uphold the law, which meant making you and yours uphold the law. So if you're a police officer and you have any, I would like to think that not all police officers are rogue. So if you have any sense of decency and doing the right thing, I know that, in the force itself, they got this blue line and this code, and if you on the wrong side, you kind of get banished and all this kind of stuff. Well, if you're on the side of decency at all, you need to start rethinking your field and thinking, what are you going to do? Because see, right now, what he's doing is so crazy. He's challenging the courts. We have three, Alice, you would be amazed at how many people that don't know we have three branches of government. Some people already almost think that the president is the king. No, we have three branches of government. The one that controls the purse string right now, Democrats are in the minority, so they're just letting this man act like he is a king. So he's not a king. Congress is supposed to control so much more, right? Create legislation, control the purse string, but they're letting him do all of this. All of it. So then you have what? So we think about hundreds and hundreds of years ago, how would those people know to do the things that they did? But I ain't gonna lie to you, other than the part that said we aren't whole human. A lot of the stuff in the Constitution and a lot of the stuff that they came up with 300-400 years ago, if they stick to those standards of what those men came up with, he should not be president. And just imagine, it takes an act of Congress to change the Constitution, and it doesn't happen often. So those freedoms that they talked about, even though they didn't mean them for us or other people of color, they still stand because they didn't put it in there. Well, freedom of speech applies to white America only. Freedom of speech, so-and-so and so-and-so, the right to bear arms applies to this person only. Now they take those laws and they interpreted them that way. But they didn't write it like that. The Constitution is written the way it is. And it addressed us as people, but other than that, it didn't, that was it. So now, we do have a Constitution, and the judicial system, the judiciary branch, is trying to do their job. He's ignoring it. We have three branches of government for a reason, because we don't have a king. And it was so amazing to me. You know how we stereotype people? By the way they dress, the way they look. Some of the people that I saw at these town hall meetings, they're saying they don't want a king. Those are the very people that voted for that man. Many of those people are the very people that voted for that man. And it was all good and it was A-okay until the decisions that he and this other man that is not even an American started to affect them. They were A-okay with everything he said he was going to do because they thought it would only apply to black and brown people. They thought it would only apply to black and brown people. And people who didn't follow his, his little, his cult-like mentality. They thought it would only apply to those people. But now it's applying to them. Farmers. And not saying that all farmers voted for him, but a lot of them did. Vets. Not all vets voted for him, but a lot of them did. You taking away jobs from the VA. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of those jobs, actual vets are working them when they retire. And yeah, now they're upset. And that's why I say, you cannot trust the people of America. Because I think a lot of them, because they didn't learn their lesson the first time with him. But see, the first time they thought he was just messing with us, right? See, now they see it's a whole different ball game. He doesn't include y'all. Y'all aren't rich enough. He's not trying to protect y'all. He's going after, it's like people are saying, he doesn't care if you're in the streets as long as these rich people are getting their tax breaks, as long as these rich people are making more money. You see how fast they arrested 3 people for doing what they did to those Teslas? But then when there's something about a hate crime, it takes them to forever. It takes the Justice Department forever to even decide if they're going to investigate it. And when they do investigate it, unless people pour into the street and raise up, it takes them forever to investigate it. But 3 people have already been arrested when it comes to, messing up those Teslas. 3 people have already been arrested when it comes to messing up those Teslas. Like they're an American treasury or something. 3 people have been arrested when it comes to that. But when it comes to a hate crime, there are good people on both sides. And they take their time. And what I will say about the Democratic Party is that attorney general that we had, Garland, can't think of the rest of his name, Garland. President Obama put him up to be, a Supreme Court justice. And I was disappointed when they just slow rolled that and they just waited and they took the opportunity from him. But President Biden put him over the Department of Justice. When I tell you that man was so slow about doing anything, it made me wonder if he really needed to be a Supreme Court justice. Because that man, he had me furious. Like, why is it taking you forever? A lot of those people could have been prosecuted. A lot of people were prosecuted. And I think they feel like, they didn't want Biden to give preemptive pardons. But see, the people that are doing the things that they're doing now, they know that the law can come after them when this man is out of office. But they feel like they're going to get preemptive pardons. So they're just running them up. Garland, we hardly ever heard that man's name. He was slow. He was slow about any and everything. And it was like to the point of when, I can't think of the other man's name, but he's been going after him, talking trash about him. I think the reason he didn't just do some of the things he did is because he was working under Garland. All of a sudden, toward the end, this man's the nominee now, and y'all trying to go for other stuff? Like you're wasting money, time. You're wasting money, time, and energy. And Garland was slow. He was slow, and I'm like, wow, this really opened my eyes to him. Like, I thought he could be, his record showed that he was a pretty decent person. But once he was given the job, once Biden chose him as the attorney general, he was like slow. He moved slower than molasses. I feel the same way about Garland. Yeah, he moved slower than molasses. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. If I could have had a conversation, I would have been like, are you upset because you didn't get the Supreme Court position? That's not on this administration. It's not on Obama's administration. They held that up. They held that confirmation hearing up so that you wouldn't get the job. But I don't think that that's what it is, because he's a smart man. He knows why he didn't get that job. But it just makes me wonder, what type of Supreme Court justice would he have been? I don't think he would have been a good one. I told my husband the same thing. Right, I really honestly don't think he would have been a good one. I really don't. And Trump and his administration, let me tell you something. Even when the president cuts up, that's what the judicial system is for. So now I'm really just wondering. They keep talking about a constitutional crisis, right? So if he continues to do the things that he's doing, when a judge says, arrest this person, and that person who's affiliated with his administration, because they're not going to say to arrest him, because it was the Supreme Court who basically gave him immunity to do anything crazy. But when it gets to the point where the streets are like, the people, they're going at it. I hope that he knows that the judges do have the ability to say this one needs to be arrested and that one needs to be arrested. I mean, it's as simple as putting out a warrant on somebody in a regular city. So the judges do have that capability, especially of the Supreme Court. The district judges have that power to do that. Will they do it? I don't think they want to get into that, get to that, because nobody ever thought. Most presidents, there have been things that Obama wanted to do, Biden wanted to do, Bush wanted to do, Clinton wanted to do. When a judge said no, it was no. When the judge said no, it was no. This lunatic is the only one who continues to do whatever he wants to do after the judges have said no. Then he puts these bad things out about the judges, putting them at danger, putting them and their families in danger with these loonies out here. So it's going to get to a point, I feel like, when it's time for someone else to take office, that the Supreme Court, even some of those that he placed on the courts, they're going to have to say, do I want to be on this side of history? Because at this point, it's like my job is for nothing. You know, I know they get paid. They'll continue to get paid. It's an appointment for life. But do you really want to be that Supreme Court justice? Those Supreme Court justices? Now, Clarence Thomas, the law won't allow me to say for that. But there are some other ones on there who are diehard Dump supporters. But there are a couple that he even put there. At times, they have had a grain of sense. Justice Roberts isn't always with the mess. Because it's going to always, from now on, take at least two of them. It's going to always take at least two of them. So, you know, when it comes to that, they keep talking about constitutional crisis. It's about to be a constitutional crisis. It's about to probably be a civil war, potentially be a civil war. Because you're going to have, again, like we've been saying, people who thought that that's what they wanted, realizing that this man cares about nobody. He cares about nobody. But I'm going to get out of here, y'all. Thank you, Alice, so much. Thank you for the conversation. And again, I'll be watching. I'll leave a comment more often, though, when I watch the replay. But I do catch the replays. I catch your Motivational Mondays. I think is it Motivational Mondays or no, Monday Moments? I see so many people do like Motivational Mondays, and I'll do Monday Motivation. You know, we talk about motivating each other, you know, people who motivate you. But I think you have Monday Moments. So I watch, but I'll leave a comment, though, more often so that you'll know. Because that's how I am. When people say, I watch you, but you never see them, they never leave a comment, or the ratio to saying they watch you to you seeing them, it looks weird. So, you know, I like to at least leave a comment so people will know. Monday Moment with Alice. That's okay. When I said Motivational Monday, it came to my mind so quick because I hear that a lot. But then I said, no, it's moments. It's moments. Monday Moments. But it's Monday Moment with Alice. Yep. So thank you again. Thank you, Mad Dog, Shawanda. I don't think I miss anybody. I like to try to name everybody that comes through the chat, especially on a day like today when there's not that many people. But, you know, a lot of times I don't like a big chat because a lot of times that's just an area for confusion. You know, you want to have a big chat, you know, but you want everybody to get along. And if they don't get along, just move on, you know, move around. But people just won't do that. People just won't do that on this app. So I appreciate you guys when you do come in here. And if you ever see anybody in this chat that you do not click with, I implore you to just be an adult about it. And you never know. At the end of the day, you guys may even become cordial. You don't have to say anything to a person that you don't rock with. Right? You don't know them. You honestly don't know them. Now, some people know each other, but if you really don't know that person, just move around. Move around. Support the content creator. Support the content creator. That's what it's all about. Alice said, I wasn't going to stay long, but I couldn't leave. Well, I appreciate you. I thank you for staying here. You're welcome anytime. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And y'all know what I say. Don't let bother people bother you. Don't let stress people stress you out. And if you find yourself in a misery lounge, grab your grip and go. If they come into your lounge, into your ecosystem, Tell them to grab their grip and go. Sometimes people will come in, or they'll invite you in, or they'll make you feel welcome. And then the sheep start unzipping and the wolves come out the sheep's clothing. Okay? So if you ever feel like you're in the wrong place, just quietly leave. If they're in your place, there's nothing wrong with asking them to leave. Because you got to do what? You got to protect your peace. You got to protect your peace. So I will see you guys on the next Let's Walk and Talk in Lions Pride. All right? Okay, bye Alice, bye Mad Dog, bye Shawanda. Yeah, you got to grab your grip and go. Get up out of there. Tell them to grab their grip and go if they're in your spot. You know, everybody, humans are different. Some of us are similar. Some of us are a lot different from each other. And even when you're very similar, like people like to say birds of a feather flock together. That's true in some cases. But even when birds flock together, they don't always agree or always think the same way, right? So you got to just do what you need to do to protect your peace. All right? So I will see you guys on the next one. Bye, y'all. You too, Alice. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.